maybe Meltzer will like it. Let's fucking do it. I already told you that's my goal.
Their match with Becky Lynch that has been given one of the highest Wrestling Observer ratings of all time for a women's match. Do those ratings mean anything to you? No, I didn't think so. I don't think Dave will.
Let's just say this. If Dave gives a match a 5-star rating, let's just be real. That means that match was really below average. Why? Do not trust his opinion. If all his rumors on wrestling always come out to be false and he has no knowledge at all, why would you take him seriously on rating a match when he's giving you his opinion on what he sees in a match? Dog, he is a smart mark. All he likes are 40-minute matches with 20-something false finishes. That's all he cares for. So, I'm going to say this again. If he gives a 5-star match, do the opposite. That means that match was not that good. Okay? Every match he gives a 5-star rating to, I'm like, what did he see that I'm not seeing? Like, huh? That match looked like everything else that I see. What makes that match so special that he gives it a 5-star rating? If it's a 5-star rating, that means it's not that good in hindsight, right? Whatever he says is good, do the opposite and think the opposite. That's my advice to you. If he says a match is good, that means that match was below average. If he thinks a match was bad, that means that match was really good. Do the math. That's how I look at it. Right? If he gives a Roman Reigns match 2 stars, that means that match was 5 stars. He just hating. See what I'm saying? So you don't think like I do. I don't trust his opinion on anything, let alone a match that he is a fangirl of New Japan. I don't take you seriously. He wants every company to wrestle like New Japan. You trust his opinion? The same company that is actually hurting AEW as we speak when it comes to the TV ratings. Right? That company that he likes is actually hurting AEW currently as we speak. So once again, if he says something's good, that means it wasn't good. Whatever he says is bad, it's really good. That's all I'm saying. I swear, man, some of you nerds and dorks, huge mental health when it comes to this pro wrestling thing. I don't get it. You are slaves to what other people think. It's like, bruh, somebody told me, because, okay, I said that Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns was way better than Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan. And it's not even close. Why? At least Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns had a finish. Point blank, period. But somebody told me, wasn't Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega a 5-star match? Wow. Did you really just tell me that? You see what I'm saying? What? Let me get this straight. So, a guy in his 60s, an old man who makes up rumors about professional wrestling, he is just a fan of this thing. He has an opinion, just like you, right? He never stepped foot in the ring. He never had a match. So who is he to tell you what a good match is and what a bad match is? This is his no preference. This is the same guy who never gives anybody any credit for great matches in the WWE. Let that sink in. Right? Like, bruh, it took Seth Rollins damn near 10 years for him to be given a 5-star match by Dave Meltzer. and you take his opinion seriously? Like, what's going on here? This is a guy who hands out 5-star matches to New Japan matches like it's candy. And you take his opinion seriously. His opinion is the gospel when it comes to you knowing what a good wrestling match is. He's no different than you. In fact, anybody can do what he does. Bruh, all you gotta do is come on YouTube or start your own website, start your own podcast, and talk your crap about pro wrestling. Just because he gives a 5-star match to a match, that don't mean that's it. I don't get it. Like you, I gotta call out the pro wrestlers too when it comes to this stuff. Especially Britt goddamn Baker. I never forget that clip. This woman was damn near bleeding in the forehead. Right? She was bleeding all over the place. By the way, women should never bleed in matches. That should be banned. That should be only a man thing. But this chick said, I hope I get a 5-star rating. I hope I get a 5-star match rating. And then there was a clip of Charlotte Flair saying there was a guy that asked Charlotte Flair. He told her, do you pay attention to 5-star ratings? Bruh, she didn't even say anything. All she did was shake her head and said no, without actually saying no, because the question is worthless. Dog, only a mark cares about an old man grading your match. A guy that's never stepped in the ring. Like, let that sink in. Like, bro, you guys, you take Dave Meltzer more seriously than Booker T. Like, let that sink in. When it comes to knowing what a good match is, you care more about Dave Meltzer than Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, etc. Guys like that. You care more about Dave Meltzer's opinion about what a good match is over Conan, Disco Inferno, guys who step in the damn ring. This is a huge issue that's been going on for damn near, 3 damn decades. Look, it's only been happening like for the past 4 years when it comes to wrestlers caring about what Dave Meltzer thinks. Wow, man, it's sad. It's truly pathetic and sad. But it only happens outside of the WWE, right? There's clips of AJ Styles saying he don't like Dave Meltzer. So it only happens in AEW, in New Japan, right? They care about an old man like Dave Meltzer grading their match. Wow, bro. You know who I want opinion on how good my match is? A Bruce Pritchard, a guy who signs talent to contracts. Maybe a Jim Ross. I want Jim Ross' opinion on how good my damn match was. You know why? Because I'm smart. I know this business better than you do. If I only care about what Jim Ross thinks. Guys like that. Vince Russo. Guys who's been in the business. Booking matches, signing talent. I care about what they think about me. If I was in the ring having matches. Don't you understand? It's like, wow, Kenny Omega and freaking Daniel Bryan had a 5-star match based on an old man's opinion. Okay, that's his opinion. That don't make it right. That's just his opinion. He's a fan just like you. So his opinion is way better than yours. Dog, he's a fan just like you. He's been watching wrestling all his life just like you, so he's no different than you. How is he better than you? You got guys like you got marks like Sammy G bragging about, oh, I got a 5-star match. And like a fan told you had a 5-star match. Let's just put this out the way. Let's just set the record straight. Dave Meltzer is a fan. Okay? Nobody goes to college to major in pro wrestling history. Okay. There's African American studies. There's a lot of majors in college that you can take up. There's no such thing going to college to study pro wrestling. Okay? There's no such thing as pro wrestling journalist school. Okay? He's a fan. Okay? Just like you. You don't go to college to major in pro wrestling knowledge. Okay? Your college professor does not give you an F because you don't know what year Hulk Hogan's last match was. Okay? No such thing as that. It's a fan base driven profession, meaning anybody who's a fan and act like they know everything. That's Dave Meltzer. Like, when I always think about him giving a 5-star match to Okada, guys like that, Mega, etc. So I'm like, I'll never make a big deal. I'm like, okay, well, that's his opinion with a capital O. That's his opinion, right? If I say Kevin Owens and Ezekiel had a great match, right? If I think they had a great match, okay, that's my opinion. You can disagree with it, but at the end of the day, that's my opinion. Maybe you know more than me. I'm not gonna pretend I know more than you do, but that's just my opinion. I think they had a great match at Hell in a Cell. That's just my opinion. That don't make it gospel, bro. What are we talking about here? It's like, see, now I know none of y'all listen to Eric Bischoff, the Vince Russo show, none of that. None of y'all listen to him. Every day, Russo roasts how dorky Dave Meltzer is. Every episode of 83 Weeks, Eric Bischoff always roasting Dave Meltzer. Everything that I'm saying right now, he says every day on his podcast. But you don't take him seriously, obviously. You don't think he knows anything, right? Oh, what does Eric Bischoff know? WCW went out of business, but it wasn't his fault. Freaking AOL didn't want WCW anymore. It had nothing to do with Eric Bischoff, but by your logic, Dave Meltzer knows more about pro wrestling than Eric freaking Bischoff. It's like you got guys like Bruce Pritchard always craps on Dave Meltzer every week. But you don't? It's like, look, everybody is entitled to their opinion, but don't act like it's the gospel. I'm like, that triggered me. That triggered me, dude, when that guy told me that. Yeah. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan had a way better match than Omega and Daniel Bryan. But you came at me saying, well, Dave Meltzer gave them a 5-star match. Like, and I don't listen to nobody. I follow my own instincts, my own opinion. But if I want a second opinion, you know what? I'm going to listen to somebody who's actually in the business, who is actually backstage, who don't create false lying rumors. Whose opinion on a great match are you going to take seriously? Jim Ross or Dave Meltzer? Whose opinion are you seriously? Eric Bischoff or Dave Meltzer? Guys who booked matches and signed talent. The same talent that are currently in the Hall of Fame. Chris Jericho will be in the Hall of Fame. Eric Bischoff made him what he is today. He gave him a shot. I'm going to take Eric Bischoff more seriously than freaking Dave Meltzer. But I have an opinion. If I say this match is great, okay, it's cool. That don't make it a fact. That don't make it the goddamn truth. That's just what I think of what a good match is. Wrestling is very subjective. It's like bodybuilding. It's like judging a bodybuilding show. It's very subjective. Okay? What I look for in a match might not be what you're looking for in a match. Right? It's like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. If I think it's good, all right, cool. You might not think it's good, right? If you think this girl's hot, I might not think she's hot. But that don't make it the truth. It's just opinion based, man. Get over it, man. Like, you idiots treat Dave Meltzer like he's a god or something. And you got guys like AJ Styles in front of his kids saying, "Who's Dave Meltzer? I don't know who he is." But you care about what he thinks. It's saying like, bro, anybody literally can do what he does. Anybody. What makes him so special? I don't know. Why do these grown adults, pro wrestling stars, they damn near kill themselves for his approval? Let that sink in, dude. Wow, bro. So you would rather kill yourself in the ring over what Dave Meltzer thinks of you rather than Jim Ross? Like, it's insane, right? I remember people went after JR because JR said that Randy Orton at that time was the best pro wrestler in the world. And you got guys like freaking Kenny Omega crying over that opinion, saying Jim Ross don't know what he's talking about. But when Dave Meltzer calls Kenny Omega the best wrestler in the world, it's a fact. But when Jim Ross says it, when Jim Ross says somebody else is, he's out of touch. He don't know what he's talking about. Wow, that's AEW in a nutshell. And that's why people are starting not to damn watch it now. Because of crap like that. False narratives. That makes zero sense. So, Jim Ross, a guy that he was around when Stone Cold Steve Austin was the goddamn ringmaster. How it is. He was around when nobody knew who Rocky Maivia was. This is a guy that was literally signing talent, booking talent. Right? He was in charge of what? Talent relations? Literally? So he signed China. Like, he was in charge of signing guys. So Dave Meltzer knows more about wrestling than Jim Ross. All Dave Meltzer has done over the past decades was just create lies, put over New Japan Pro Wrestling as like gods, right? Crap everything on the WWE. So what? Look, let's just be honest. Dave Meltzer hates mainstream wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling is not mainstream. He hates mainstream wrestling. He's very biased. Only thing he likes is the goddamn 40-minute matches with 20 damn false finishes. That's your narrative on what a good match is. That's really sad. Every week, Eric Bischoff always says, has Dave Meltzer ever booked a match? Has he ever signed talent? Has he ever booked a show? Has he ever been in any backstage meetings? Does he scout talent? Does he do any of those things? Every week, Eric Bischoff says those same words every week. What does Dave Meltzer know about pro wrestling? He's a fan. He's a fan with no credibility. Once again, he's a fan with no credibility. He's a wrestling historian. That's it. He's no different than you and me. He's a fan of this thing. That's it. Like, how is he the goddamn gospel? I don't get it. What the hell didn't Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan have a 5-star match? By whose opinion? By whose thought was that? On what did you base that on? Really? Really? I seen, dude. So you care about the opinion of a guy in his 60s, a mark in his 60s that the majority of the business don't respect. There's so many people in the business that don't respect Dave Meltzer, and guess what? They are backstage guys like Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff, guys like that do not like Dave Meltzer because he has dumb opinions about pro wrestling, which means he's no different than the next guy who talks pro wrestling. Oh yeah. By the way, I heard that Dave Meltzer actually gave Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell a 5-star rating. Let me get this straight. Seth Rollins has been one of the face of the company for the past 7-8 years. You are just now giving this guy a 5-star rating? Let's be honest. The only reason he gave him a 5-star rating is because Cody Rhodes is a former AEW guy. So by doing that, that makes AEW look good. Because the fact that a former AEW guy, who Dave Meltzer has given past 5-star ratings to, he's now in the WWE, that makes AEW look good. They have talent that produce so-called 5-star matches. See what I'm saying? See, I'm smart when it comes to this crap. Oh my God, a damn 5-star. Look, it was a very good match. Very good match. But that match was not better than the WrestleMania match. Like, obviously. So why would you give that match a 5-star rating? It's like, ain't that weird? I heard that Dave Meltzer hardly ever gives 5-star ratings to WWE matches. All of a sudden, an ex-AEW guy gets a 5-star match rating within the WWE. Come on, man. I'm done.